My name is Shawn Robertson. I'm lead artist at Irrational Games. For us, BioShock was always bigger than just the city of Rapture. So when we were looking for ideas for our next project, what we wanted to do, we didn't really want to tell the story of Rapture anymore. We wanted to move past that. And by calling it BioShock Infinite, we're not making it a sequel. It's not BioShock 3 because it has nothing to do with Rapture. It's not a sequel. So for us, Infinite it is BioShock, but it's not directly linked. We've been working on this title for about 3 years now. We're as the creators of the BioShock series, so we were very excited to take on this project and really sink our teeth into it. Like I said, BioShock to us was always more than Rapture, and when we were looking at what we wanted to do with our next project, we really wanted something to do with BioShock. And when we really started to boil down, well, what is a BioShock game? What is the essence of BioShock? And it comes down to two things that we feel irrational makes a BioShock game. One is creating a fantastic environment that is compelling towards players, that they want to exist in, that they want to walk through, that they want to learn more from. And the other one is giving the character or the players the tool set to explore that with the weapons and powers, and giving them a variety of these weapons and powers that gives them the combinatorial effect to solve things their own way. The idea of Columbia, as you saw it in the demo, just didn't pop out fully formed and land on the table, and we just built it. After we decided that we were going to do a city in the sky, our first art test really looked like Rapture in the sky. It was dark, it was moody, the clouds were really tight in, it was claustrophobic, it was night. We took a step back from that and realized, do we want to do this? We were saying the same thing. Again, it's pretty much Rapture, but in the sky. So once we had that discussion, once we decided what's the bare essence of BioShock, we wiped the slate completely clean. And if you look at the demo, there are no shared assets. From BioShock to Infinite, it's a new engine. There's no shared code. So you're asking what will take the place of Rapture. We're taking that leap of faith that we did it once, that we can do it again. We have the same team working on this as BioShock 1, and that we're really excited about this theme and the 4th of July and Americana and 1900, and now that everybody's seen the demo and everybody seems excited about it, we have that much more confidence that we can pull it off. I mean, honestly, it's very organic, these decisions. We had all different kinds of ideas thrown about that, and we kept coming back to City in the Sky, and we realized that it presents a myriad of challenges, both technical and aesthetic, to pull that off. And once we started playing around with that, like I said, the first attempt was really dark and moody. We started to get a grip on what we really needed to do to really sell City in the Sky and make it, just as compelling as a city underwater. It's one of those things that just kind of, all of a sudden now we're working on City in the Sky, and everybody's excited and gung-ho and let's do it. And again, like I said, I don't remember actually spinning the wheel and it landing on City in the Sky. But we don't want to go too deep into specific weapons and powers at the moment, but I will say, one of the things we looked at, we always do postmortems of our games, and we try to be really harsh critics of what we've done to think about what we can do better. And we really want to increase the tool set, give the player a much more wider variety of weapons, much wider variety of powers that they can use in this in BioShock Infinite. And so somebody asked me, well, when BioShock Infinite ships, what's going to be the most used weapon? And I was like, well, if we do our job right, everybody will have a different answer. In BioShock 1, it's very easy to go through the game with the shotgun and the electrobolt, because those were really the only problems that we gave you. So we want a wider variety of tools and a wider variety of problems to solve. I will say, though, that we will not only have a wider variety of weapons and powers for the player, but there'll be a much wider variety of AIs that saw a little glimpse of in the demo. There's tons of low-level things that we're always as a developer, I think when any developer, when they see their game goes out, it's hard not to see the bugs that you ship with or things that you could have done better. On a higher level, like I mentioned, like we really wanted to increase the player's tool set. We wanted to tell a more compelling story. We wanted to introduce the players to a whole new world and art style. So those are the big ones. I'm lucky that I'm working with some of the best and brightest artists in the industry, and to a man and a woman, they are very detail oriented. It's every day I'm amazed. I walk in the office to see what people have done, and everybody wants to put their best foot forward. And so you're talking about the attention to detail. Well, this is the same team, plus a few new faces that worked on BioShock 1. So we have a nice mix of the veterans and the new guys with all the energy coming in, and like you can see like what they can accomplish with this demo. But I mean, definitely like I said, compelling environments that you want to walk through, you want to explore, you want to learn more about. That's really essence of the rational in BioShock. Yeah, I mean, there's story elements there. I don't want to get too deep on. I'm happy that you noticed the glimmering stuff. A lot of people didn't catch that. There are little clues that we're leaving for the sharp-eyed viewer that they can kind of go back and look at and make some connections there. As far as the actual people attacking you right off the bat or not attacking you, that's one of the things we looked at in BioShock, and to me, it's more compelling to walk into a room and not know if I'm going to get into a fight right off the bat, or even if all. What does that do to gameplay, and what does that do to story when you have to have that extra thought in your mind? Like, okay, there's 10 people in this bar. I'm just going to walk in and grab something and walk out, or are they going to flip out at a certain time? It gives us an extra layer to gameplay and story for the player. Yeah, so Booker DeWitt, when you think about a character that talks, that has a personality, it's really a story device. And again, we're looking at what's the story that we want to tell, and we're telling a story of going to Columbia to find Elizabeth to rescue her. And we want that emotional connection between the player and Elizabeth. So giving the player a voice and a name this time around is really, a storytelling device for us to get more emotion out of the story. For the story we were telling in BioShock 1, that being a blank vessel cipher was the right decision for the story we wanted to tell. It's funny, again, it's one of those very organic things that just kind of happens. We start looking at different styles, different times, and then there'll start to be a snowballing effect of people getting excited about one thing or the other, and then we'll read books on the Chicago World Fair of 1893, and like, oh, all this exciting stuff and all these really great, important people lived at this time, and all this stuff was happening, and then we start looking 7 years later, 1900, and all, well, this was happening, and McKinley, and Roosevelt's coming later, and then you start looking around that era for things to build off of, and that really provide, once we get excited about that and we start looking at source of the time, not just the political stuff, but artwork and things like that, that gets us excited, and then all of a sudden you're working on a game that's set in 1912. I mean, for us, multiplayer is, it's a question we get asked all the time, and really for us, like, if we decide to do multiplayer in BioShock Infinite, it'll have to be the right thing. It'll have to be polished, and it'll have to be amazing. We're very, like I said, detail oriented, and if it's right for us, we'll do it. But that's not really something that we're talking about now.